So people have been wondering where I've been. I've been regenerating. If you don't understand what that means, then just listen to this. My wordplay will snatch the average man's vertebrae. Shout out to my 10 tribe partners, baby orderly. When we combine, they considering us a mass threat. Blacks, natives, Mayas, Incas, and the Aztecs. You think it's far-fetched? You got to be kidding me. These same niggas saying Santa sliding down they chimney. Look, when it comes to justice, they just ignore us. But watch everything we do through the eye of horror. It's piss poor, it's where we at, but where they at is gorgeous. I'm setting flames to these churches with Caesar Borgia. Got the duty of man, camped down in Georgia. Hold it down, keep the faith, the Most High is gonna reward you. I don't beef with my Hebrew peeps, I keep a cordial from a chosen stock, and you not, sucks to be you. Yeah, the number is significant. While Satan's running wild, I'm trying to focus on my discipline. Moving like a whirlwind, I'm fighting till the world wins. To understand what that means, it's Isaiah 45:17. Aristocrat genes, kings and queens, but these Edomites be pulling our strings. I cut the cords in 94, avoid the bull like a matador. But if it's beef, I got an army of carnivores. Ric Flair, figure four, doors up the hinge. I got the gird with the drip, and it's matching my friends. I'm not friendly. I was taught to prove a friend. I'm set apart and don't give a damn about trends or your timelines, your Bentley or your high rise. Detonate your enterprises full of lies. Pull up and stop and bust most shots. And when I do, it be a genocide like Pol Pot. And that's real history. Show me a white Jew, I'll solve the Bigfoot mystery. It's not happening. You stuck in the case of fatal attraction. Both action with the words of the Lord when I be rapping. Catch your breath. Line your target up. People need you. Let's go. Cry loud. I cry loud. Yeah, direct like the TV. Heathens can't see me. Your rhymes is like feces. Favorite candy Reese's. Read the KJV. Stocking up on ammo. I've been paranoid lately. SPLC got them hating on me with verbal energy of our captors draining our energy. Yeah, that's why I got this Hennessy. 2 to 2/3, we gon' toast to your memory. Most definitely got the recipe. Expertly snatch the souls of my enemies. The rest be running like they centipedes. I keep the law, fear the Lord, solidify my legacy. Tranquilo, just let it be. You lost, trapped in a maze like Frank Beverly. Change the time like Pope Gregory. You want the truth? Say the word, we'll pull up at your residency. Valhalla, but more heavenly. End of the road, truth be told, we inherently are the chosen, north and south interwoven. Hit you with 10 like DeRozan. You know what mouth got your ears smoking. Kwame Yasha Island, we live and die by the slope.
Matthew 19, verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom, salute. Good morning, good afternoon, shalom, peace. Welcome to another episode, DSTM, Don't Shoot the Messenger. This your brother Ahmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Salute to the saints that's in the house, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh. Welcome. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. But if you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Make sure that you wipe your feet, man. If you came up in here, man, act like you got some home training. All right. If you've been in this place before, you know what that means. All you got to do is kick the rock. I'm about to say something. Kick the algorithm in they digital rectums and let them know, hey, we watching over here. Circulate this video. Thumbs up because you want others to be enlightened by the truth. Right. So let me give my salutations to those who have joined us and have came in and left some comments. Sister Hashemah, shalom to you. Rosemarie out there in London and the fam out there, shalom to y'all. Kohaf in the house, shalom to you. My fam out there in the Midwest, Ashar in the house, shalom. Shalak in the house, shalom. The Quab in the house. In the desert, shalom to you. My people's out there in the D, man, the house of Bayan Shakar, shalom to you, man. Hosea down there in Jamaica, shalom to you. See, we getting busy, man. We all over the place. All praises, man. Those that tap in, tune in, and support, all praise. Subsequently in the house, shalom to you. And anybody else who's has not left a comment, hasn't saluted your fellow saints, man, shame on you. But in all seriousness, man, shalom to all y'all, man. Oh, there go my peoples out there. Shalom to the fam over there, BOW, man. Shalom to y'all. All right, all praises, man. You know what time it is, man. If y'all don't listen, I know everybody's tuning in over here. Y'all already know what time it is. It is what it is. But you got economic, energy, and food crisis really, knocking on everybody's door. You hear it, I hear it. You feel it, I feel it. Right? They're calling this COVID 2.0. You know, the warning signs are there. The shortages are apparent. You got multiple nations out there declaring state of emergencies because of the energy crises that they're going through. Gas is out of control. Y'all already know, right? Multiple wars jumping off. In particular, we got to always talk about the main one that's jumping off, the daddy of them all, as they say. What's going down between Iran, Israel, and America. In addition to some other nations that's joining in. Yeah, more nations are joining in, which only leads towards what? World War. Did I say? Not 13. 3. Tres. 3. Right? Without further ado, man, because we got a lot to cover, a lot of things we're gonna look at. Let's get right into it. All right. Let me open up my screen here, and in rare form, we're gonna start off right with the damn PowerPoint. If I'm coming in clear, man, everybody can hear me. Throw a 7 in that chat for me. Would you do that? If I'm coming in clear, y'all can hear me. Let me know. Sometimes the technical issues be jumping off, man, and I can't tell what's going on. Brother Will, shalom, Mike. Prayerfully, you and the fam as well, okay? All right, good. All right, all praises, right? Now, like we talked about last week, everything is based around time limits, right? 2 Ezra chapter 9 says, measure the time, right? And now you even see more constituents. We talked about the doomsday clock and Esau and all of that last week. Now they even put a time stamp on how much time they need to get this war wrapped up before all literal hell breaks loose in the earth. Multiple nations are going to suffer. America, because America's got a little stash spot for energy, oil, and all that other stuff, man. America can last through the rest of the year. It's still going to be hard. Gas prices ain't going nowhere. Food's not going nowhere, right? It's still going to be hell in America. But you talking about the utter collapse and the state of emergency in America. America got maybe to the end of the year, early next year, for everything that's going on in the earth, from the energy, food, gas, fertilizer, everything else, right? That's how much time they're saying. So all of the damn experts are telling America, Trump, you got about a month to end this thing, man. Otherwise, the world is going to go to hell in a handbasket. That's timing for you. When Yahweh said, man, the time must be cut short for the elect's sake. Can you imagine how fast this year is already going by? Passover's next week. That's April 1st. April 1st. Already. It seemed like we just started 2026. We're already about to be in the so-called 4th month. Time is flying. If y'all agree with me, man, throw a 3 in the chat, man. If y'all noticed how fast time is flying and how hard it is to keep up with everything, man, just let me know I'm not alone, man. Throw a 3 in the chat. Let me know I'm not alone. March is over with. We're already about to be in April, man. That just dawned on me like a week ago, and I was like, God damn. And it was just like we were just saying a month or two ago. We was like, make sure everything's solid for Passover. It was going to be here before you know it. You say that just out of, warning preparation. But literally, it was here like that. Unbelievable. Okay, Khan, I ain't alone. All praises. Yeah, It's serious out here, man. Now look, they telling Trump you got a month to end this thing, or it's over with. Military strikes lauded as spectacular by the White House as rapidly depleted weapon stockpile. So yeah, he's boastfully bragging about the military strikes. He destroyed the missile defense systems. He shut down the ballistic missiles that they got. And, you know, the war. He's been saying the war is over for the last 3 weeks. I mean, this dude can't tell the truth if it saved his life. Who? Okay, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump the gun. Look, having gone to war with Iran, declaring strength and might of the U.S. military, Donald Trump is now in a race against time to extricate himself. After almost 4 weeks of war, the U.S. is facing shortages of critical offensive and defensive weapons. Inventory analysis shows. Yeah, that's right. Remember, what was it, 2.5, 3 weeks ago? Him and Pete Hegseth was running around talking about they can do this as long as it takes. Trump said, I won't get bored of this. Meanwhile, they just got through panhandling for another $200 billion to help them restock weapons 2 weeks ago. They're running low. So more lies being told. Now they says Carolyn Levitt, the White House press secretary, on Wednesday threatened Mr. Trump would, quote, unleash hell if Iran did not bend to his peace terms. They love throwing around these cliche, quotes from movies or whatever the hell is going on. But meanwhile, we know that he loves eating tacos. Because every threat that he's laid out there, Iran called a bluff and said, well, do it. Let's get to it. Handle it. And he doesn't do a thing. But go out there and make statements before the markets close to make sure that all of his little billionaire buddies and his banker friends can secure their funds and hedge their bets on this war. We covered that a few weeks ago, how, you've got individuals out there making millions of dollars betting on this war, getting insider information about when bombs are going to drop, what's going to happen next. White collar crimes to the fullest, man. White collar crimes to the fullest. Now it says, but its rapidly draining armory means the U.S. would struggle to ramp up attacks from the air and would have to resort to the use of so-called dumb bombs, right? So they're already acknowledging that. And if you read further on it in the article, it gives you an understanding about America running low on weapons, America being in jeopardy of being hit and losing, more aspects of losing the war, but let alone the economic conditions that it's going to cause in the long term. Now look at this. Here he goes. If Iran doesn't fully open without threat to the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Agent Orange loves Twitter, man. I mean, he's a complete troll. A complete troll, man. 48 hours. Mind you, this was 6 days ago. 6 days ago, he said this. What happened to the 48 hours? Ain't nothing happened. Just overnight, there's been a report that Israel hit an energy facility in Iran. And, the Iranians is like, oh, okay, we're about to really get busy on you now. So it took them, if this is, accurate, because remember last week, the Trump administration told the press that they want stories to be told from their perspective only. They don't want any alternative or truth media being reported. So they want to control the media, the narratives and whatnot, the Ministry of Truth, 1984 type stuff. They said that they want the storylines to be reading as they dictated. So the government is pretty much running most of these damn news outlets, the mainstream Mockingbird media outlets, with Larry Ellison and them owning, how much do they own? At least, I want to say at least 1/6, maybe more, maybe half or 2/3 of the media companies is out there who's being who's under the Trump administration. They're all running the same show and the narratives, right? So he said this 6 days ago, 48 hours. That obviously was a lie. Let's look at this. Sirach, what is it? Sirach 8. Sirach 8:15 says, "Travel not in the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee." See, this is exactly what Trump is. The bold fellow who brags, boasts. You know, in modern day terms, they call him the ish starter. The one that's always starting stuff. And then drags everybody into it. You fellas, y'all know. If you was ever in the world, used to hang in a little pack or a group of friends or whatever, you might have had that one who got belligerent when he got drunk, or he was doing something he wasn't supposed to, or the bold one that's always, jumping out there in front of everybody, talking stuff. And you got to be like, oh, no, don't mind him. He's drunk. Come on. Hey, man, calm down, homie. Stop. No, it's they want problems. I'm going to whip everybody ass in here. Yeah. That guy. The guy that, loves to be out of control because he knows that there's a group behind him that's going to come to his aid and help him. That's got to save him. He's the first one to get slumped. When he throws the drunk punch and somebody knocks him out, now you got to jump in. And of course, if you're living by the rules, good, bad, or indifferent, man, I got to help my homie. We'll deal with him later. But for now, we got to save him and us. Then when we get back to the hood, when we get back to where, we're going to straighten him out. But guess what? You don't ever stop. He still goes out to the next place, to the next event. Nobody cuts him off and say, no, you can't come, man. Every time we go out, you get us in trouble. Last time you got out, man, you got into it with the police, man. We all ended up in the holding tank. Nah, we ain't going with you. It becomes grievous. And now you see with the revolting going on within the MAGA community, the little MAGA cult, all of them now are grieved by him and his words. I got a few articles coming up. They're hot. They all now believe that they've been deceived. They all now are, finally put down a cup of the poison Kool-Aid, and their stomachs are hurting, and they're like, damn, this ain't what he said was in the drink. I thought this was supposed to be sweet. It's bitter. It's grievous and nasty. So now, this is exactly what's going on. It said that he becomes grievous unto thee, for he will do according to his own will. And that's exactly what he's doing. I got articles later on telling you how much money this dude done came up in the last year and a half, a little less than a year and a half. He's a year and 3 months, almost 4 months into his campaign. This cat done cashed in billions. That's him personally, let alone his family. He's cashing in. He's trying to collect peace prizes, trying to mint a coin after his imagery, putting his signature on the money now. He knows this is his last hoorah. So he wants to leave a quote unquote legacy for the history books. What is he going to be remembered for? Right now, he's going to be remembered for the one who got America destroyed. He's going to be remembered for the greatest liar and the greatest hypocrite, backstabber, and taco eating president known to man. Right? Because he's interested in his own will, his own interests. And if that means rubbing the backs of his banker constituents and all of that, and his billionaire buddies, and his PDF file Epstein, pack that he, was running with and covering up for. I mean, that's what it is. Remember, everything has always been about him. When it came down to the Epstein stuff, it was his own way. Hey, redact all that, blah, 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 clean it all up. And now when it's all clear, Hey, I'm exonerated. I wasn't in there. I told you I didn't do anything. Let's close the books. Nothing to see here. Remember that? And even before they really start opening up them files, he was saying, are we still talking about him? I mean, the guy was a piece of crap. We know. But I mean, yeah, we got to move on. And everybody's like, no, we're not moving on. This was one of your campaign promises. What are you talking about? Move on. There's all kind of dirt in there. We want to know some names. We want to see what's going on in there. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Redact my name and everything immediately. Give us some time. We'll get it out. Once they clean up the records and they redact all kind of stuff, then they release it. I'm exonerated. I told you. He's gonna do according to his own will, man. The Trump coin, the crypto, all that stuff, man, the dude made it come up at the expense of triggering multiple wars. I mean, look, he's talking about how he stopped multiple wars. This cat done bombed multiple countries. What are you talking about? He bombed Yemen, Nigeria, invaded Venezuela, shut down and cut off all forms of survival for Cuba. Iran, he's dropped bombs on. Doing an investigation in Colombia, trying to get on over there. Mexico, he's involved over there. I mean, this guy knows no limits. Continuing on, it says, and thou shalt perish with him through his folly. See, there's a reason why the scripture says, get up out of her, my people, and be not partakers of her sins in Revelation 18. Because those that cling on and pledge their allegiance and wrap themselves in the American flag and want to hold on to the idolatrous, fornicating, witchcraft, demonic ways of America, you're going to go down with the ship. Let's read that one more time. Travel not by the way with the bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee, for he will do according to his own will, and thou shalt perish with him through his folly. Revelation 18. After these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Everybody's in on it. That's why when it said, and if you with this bold fella, you're going to perish with him. That's why the nations are angry. The nations are now going to suffer the judgments because of their fornicated relationship with America. But guess what? The money was so good. The abundance was so good. They couldn't break free of the hypnotism that America has them under. They committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. We have to cut ourselves off from America. We got to cut ourselves off from the demonic ways that this place, involves themselves in. I saw a video of a Jake, man, brother in the military. And he was in the car and he was talking about, he had his uniform on and all that. And he said, I love America. I'll die for America. And I don't care about all the people talking about all that stuff you got to talk about America. If you don't like it, then leave. Go to another country. Go where you came from. I mean, sounding right out the playbook of Massa. I mean, if you couldn't talk, then you couldn't spell indoctrination better than looking at, he'd be the poster child of indoctrination. He's speaking the same way that a white man would. If you don't like it here, go home. Go to another country. That's straight from the mouth of the white man. And this dude was sitting up there saying, yeah, I love America. And that's why I'm going to fight for America. I'm going to die for America, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he took cooning to a whole nother level, man. I could have sworn he was getting dark circles around his eyes as he was speaking in real time. And the tail damn near popped out while he was in the car. I mean, it was what. Meanwhile, America, along with Israel, and I think there was one other country, you know, the West African nation, I believe the president of Ghana and them, they was out there seeking to establish historically the slave trade and establish it as being a crimes against humanity. Many of y'all heard about that. They wanted America to be held responsible and slavery in general of Africans. You know, we're going to be included in that based upon the geographic location where we came from. And he said they want slavery to be understood as a crime against humanity. And America said no. Israel said no, we're not doing that. You would think if the narrative of the SAG chambers, you know, spelled in reverse, you know what I'm talking about, SAG chambers, and how much it cost, you would think if that really played out as they say, they would have a sympathetic heart for anybody that was oppressed, anybody that was thrown in cages, anybody that was killed for who they were, anybody that was taken advantage. You would think they would have some sort of sympathy to say, hey, they went through it worse than us. We definitely think that should be a crime against humanity. They said no, it wasn't no crime against humanity. Not at all. What's wrong with that? That's not a crime. And you got niggas out here talking about how much they want to live, love, and die for America. And America says, we're not repenting for our sins. No, we're not going to do that. That's not a crime against humanity. Again, that should be telling you, hold up, man. Some of y'all might not have seen it. I don't know. Don't let me waste my time, y'all. Throw a 7 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, no. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, throw a 7 in the chat, and I have to show y'all something. I'm gonna give y'all a second. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, throw a 7 in the chat. Okay, everybody apparently is up to speed. Okay, all praises. So so y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody's aware. This is why you know. Look, even the scriptures tell us. Hold on. I think I wanted Isaiah. Oh, my bad. Let me share. Why is it not sharing? Okay. All right, now check this out. Now, the scriptures say this. Let favor be, in Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked. Yet will he not learn righteousness. This is why it's so this is why it's one of the reasons that we have to take accountability for how much we're apologizing for and how much we're glazing the damn heathens and wanting them to be right along with us and want us to hold hands. The Lord said, I'll show them favor. I'll give them attempts to repent and change. But they won't learn righteousness. They're not going to be able to do it on their own. They're going to need pain. They're going to need suffering. They're going to need to reap what they've sown. They're going to need a rewarding of double for what they've done. And then they're going to realize, and then they're going to say, oh, okay, we get it. Y'all are in control. We've got to do this, or otherwise we're going to die. So when you get an attempt where here's the voting, right? UN votes to recognize slavery as the gravest crime against humanity, the gravest. Now you know why the small hat GMO cat said no. We're not going to say it's the gravest. We're the gravest. We're the victims. You know, we're the ones who always have a monopoly on victimization and oppression. Nobody's got it worse than us. You know, get the F out of here, man. You know, they always want to have that monopoly on that. But anyway, you can see here, all the countries in green said yes, right? The ones in yellow declined to vote. They said, we don't want no parts of that. We're not going to be involved in that. So they're complicit. They're complicit. They turning a blind eye, look the other way. Know it's bad. Know it's going down. They say, yeah, well, it was bad, but I'm not going to speak on it. I'm going to leave it alone. Argentina, Australia, Austria, Albania, Bulgaria, Ireland, Italy, Japan. All of them said, we'll decline on adding our 2 cents into that. Poland, Portugal, you know, many of which was victimized. Look, Portugal, Italy, Argentina said no. I'm tripping. They said no. So Argentina, Israel, and the United States all said no, that's not the greatest. All the green, they all said yeah. So by majority vote, it gets passed. However, I like to take note of all those who said, we're not even going to speak on that. Ukraine was one of them. I remember when that Ukraine war jumped off, man. I was street teaching, and this little Ukrainian cat came, a Ukrainian Christian. We was going at it, chopped him up and his wife. But he wanted us to ride with Ukraine, you know, because it was, you know, it was big back then. Stand with Ukraine. Everybody had the little flags out. And I was like, man, the hell with Ukraine? No, we're not doing that. And now, of course, they come out and say, we're not even going to speak about slavery as the gravest crime against humanity because of their ties with the NAZI people, if you know what I'm talking about. Right? So attempts are given to them, and they still won't learn right. America, the small hat GMO, Argentina, who's ran by a damn Spaniard, all the countries that I was complicit in, it was over 20 of them, said, I ain't gonna comment on that. That's not my business. It wasn't that bad. I can't say that. Okay. The Lord said, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly. So when righteousness is prevailing and everybody's trying to do the right thing, he's still going to deal unjustly. It's in him. Can't help it. Born like that. The scripture saying that, Psalm 58, the wicked are estranged from the womb as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Hey, look, man, he can't help it. This is just what he is. And will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. So he's not going to bow down. He's not going to submit himself to the Lord. That's why he got to get eliminated. The Most High, I'll give him a chance, but he ain't going to waste your time if you want to. Go ahead, try to save him. Go ahead, try to save the heathen. Waste your time if you want to. And guess what? The Lord said, I told you. Even when you trying to do the right thing, I'm trying to be upright. They're still going to deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. That's just what it is. All right. Let me get one more Psalms. And getting back to Agent Orange's statements, Psalm 94:1 says, "O Yahweh, power, to whom vengeance belongeth. O Most High, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud." So we're starting to hear this particular prayer of David being answered now. The Most High is showing himself. We're seeing all of the plague, not all of them, but we're seeing the unleashing of plagues, tribulation, hard times, judgment on the earth, the awakening of the chosen people of the Most High. Our people is rising up to the occasion, embracing their nationality, embracing their obligation to fear the Most High and keep the commandments, teaching each other, being examples to the flock. We ain't perfect. We got a lot of problems, but that has not stopped us from waking up and gathering ourselves together. So judgment of the earth is happening. Along, we read 2nd Ezra 9 too. We read that a number of times. But it said that when these things begin to happen, then you'll know that this is the time when the Most High will begin to visit the earth in which he made. So the visitation of the Most High is upon the earth, huh? When you're hearing about apocalyptic words being used, Armageddon being used, a lot of biblical narratives are now being used in mainstream media, you know it's a problem. You know that it's real. Ain't nobody talking about the damn Egyptian Book of the Dead and none of that no more. Everybody's focusing in on a biblical narrative now. Everybody's like, oh, shoot, the Bible, okay. Yeah, them guys might have been onto something. Or they're just going to flat out be in cognitive dissonance and say, I don't care how much you show me it's true. It just ain't real. The white man wrote it. The Bible's tampered with. It's not the. It's not that book couldn't be prophesying what's going on. They just in complete denial. Verse 3, Yahweh, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things? He's talking real stuff, man. Pete Hegseth out there woofing. And every conference, every news conference that he gets, every opportunity, he's out there talking hard. Trump talking hard. You even got the little white woman, Carolyn Levitt. She's out there talking about all other hell gonna be unleashed on you if you don't do what we say. And the question is, how long are they gonna sit out here and speak all this madness, man? How long are they gonna continually try? Well, clearly we see not too much longer. As they're scrambling, begging for more money for backup weapons, calling for peace deals and negotiating ceasefires. Hey, look, check this out. If you're winning the war and you're bombing and destroying and taking care of your business, why would you then all of a sudden say, "Hey, hold on, let's get to a ceasefire. Let's calm down. Hold on, let's pause." If you're winning, I've never seen that before. In a fight, somebody's gonna have to pull you up off of somebody that you beating on. But they like, man, hey, hold on, you gonna kill him? He's out. Leave him alone. That's the only time something's gonna happen. The only time you're getting whooped on is when you like, all right, stall me out. All right, come on, chill. Let's talk about it. Oops, right. Shut up. All right, jump. Stop. Ain't no more talking. Boop. And that's what Iran is saying. Talking. Whoop. We ain't been talking. Let's get back to it. No, hold on. We're having good talks. Calm down. That's what's playing out. And you just see a month more, and their little depleted armories is going down the drain. Let's continue on. Let's go. Trump back down. Another taco moment. Iran media denies direct talks after U.S. holds off energy strikes. So that Strait of Hormuz has been a strategic spot for Iran to control for decades upon decades. I seen an article where they said that J.D. Vance had a heated conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu, because Netanyahu sold them on the war and said, we got all the intelligence. It's going to be quick. Don't worry about it. We got to take them out. We're going to bomb first. If otherwise, y'all going to have to join in. But, and JD Vance bought and drunk the Kool-Aid. And that's why when he came out in that early statement, remember when it first started 2 months ago, or what was it, end of January? And I put up the article and he said it's not going to be a long war. It should be fast. That's because that's what Netanyahu told him. And let me see if I can find that headline real quick. No, that ain't what I want. Yeah, see this? I'm gonna go to one of their publications, Yeshiva's World. Whatever. Tensions surface. JD Vance rebukes Netanyahu in heated call over Iran war expectation. See? He sipped the Kool-Aid, man. Look, before the war, Bibi really sold it to the president as being easy, as regime change being a lot likelier than it was, and the VP was clear-eyed about some of those statements. So, in typical fashion, fork-tongued nature, they love to lie, and now they get mad when they lie to each other. But that's their nature, man. You lying to me? Oh, man, you lied to me. Yeah, well, hey, man. It is what it is. You know how we do. Trump, fearing Iran's response, backed down from his 48-hour ultimatum. Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcasting said in a post on X, yeah, he tacoed out, man, because that was it. Six days ago is when he made that statement. 48 hours or else. Clearly, that ain't going to nothing went down, right? So he backed down, and Iran keep on bombing them. Now, if you're saying 3 weeks ago, the war's over, we've accomplished everything that we need. You've got conflicting stories about ground troops now. How many's going? Last week it was 5,000. I guess this is the total. They started with 3, throwing another 2,000. There's reports now of 50,000 registered and on alert, being prepared to go. Let me see if I get that. Let me see what I get. Well, that's a YouTube video. Yeah, here you go, Fox. "82nd Airborne, thousands of Marines. Iran rejects the ceasefire proposal." And they said, where was it at? It said they have 40 to 50,000 troops. Here you go. The U.S. already maintains roughly 40 to 50,000 troops across the Middle East, with recent deployments adding several thousand more, including Marines and airborne units. So these are the ones that's already on call. They're already on notice. 40 to 50,000 from what started off as no ground war. This is going to be easy. Few drone strikes. We're going to light them up. They're going to bow down. Regime change is over with. We're going to do just like we did in Venezuela. This ain't Venezuela, man. Unbelievable. But that's the pride. That's the arrogancy. That's why the Most High said, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. So meanwhile, he's asking for peace deals. He wants to negotiate. He's flipping the script, telling everybody they want to negotiate. They're having good talks with the right people. Who are the right people? Clearly, who knows who he's talking to? If he's talking at all, I think he's lying. I don't even think he's lying. because he's looking at the ticker symbols and everything going up in the red in the stock markets and everything else. And he says, okay, market's going to close Friday. I'm going to go ahead and make this announcement. 48 hours or we're going to have peace. And markets shift and they say, okay, we're going off his word. Monday, nothing happens. Everything tanks. And he just plays that recycling scenario. You got to watch what he's doing. What he's doing is he's ramping up. They're running low on munitions and interceptor missiles. They're the ones calling for peace treaties and talks. And now they're like, we're not getting that. We got to go to the next level. Ground troops. 5,000 already, 82nd Airborne on the way. And they got 40, 50,000 already sitting over there in the Middle East. And they're telling them, be ready. If that ain't a global, if that ain't the stages of World War III, I don't know what is. Look at this. Furious Republicans storm out of secret Iran briefing as new Trump objective sparks ground invasion panic. We were misled. Why can't you just say you was lied to? You misled us. No, you lied. Furious Republicans stormed out of the classified briefing on Iran on Wednesday amid fears the U.S. is preparing to invade the country as Tehran refuses Donald Trump's peace overtures. Now, there it is. The person who's winning, the person who's more aggressive, the person who has the upper hand has the ability to say, ain't no peace. No, we're going to go to the end with this. And if you're the one saying, hold on, let's chill. Hold on, let's talk. No, I ain't talking. Done talking. We need peace. Hold on. Man, you bombed us. You done killed my daddy, my mama. You done bombed kids' schools. You done did all kind of madness, man. What are you talking about? Let's chill. That's out of here. Come on, relax. Can't we just all get along? They want the Rodney King stuff. No, that's not going on. Okay. So with that being understood, now you got all of his little Republican buddies talking about, man, you lied to us. And you said it wasn't going to be no ground troops. Almost 7,000 U.S. ground forces are deploying or en route to the Middle East, including the Army's 82nd Airborne Division and the Marines. Speculation is swirling about Trump's rapidly developing plans for war. And if anybody's seen that viral video with him and Barbara Walters back in, I think he had an interview with her like in 87 or 89, something like that. He was already talking about what he would do if he was president and launched war on Iran. Bomb the hell out of him, regime change, and take all the oil. So he's living up to the hype in that fashion. Look at it. He's lied about everything. Iran war puts Trump on shaky ground with young MAGA men. Oh, no kidding. Buyer's remorse, huh? But when we say he's a devil, when we say he's a lie, oh, that's racist. Oh, you Israelites, man, y'all are just always talking crazy. You guys are always putting a 2 on the 10. What? No. We tell the truth and get crucified for it, but it's okay. Sirach 12:13 says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? I'm not shedding no tears and could give 2 craps. I'm laughing all the way to the spiritual bank. Because here they are running. He lied to us. He misled us. He hasn't fulfilled one of his promises. Why does he keep lying to us? I invested everything in MAGA. I got the hats, the bumper stickers. I got the damn the Trump coin. I bought the sneakers. I can't believe he lied. What happened to America first? What happened to white man being back on top again? Guess what? You got bit with some of the worst venom, and you deserve every ounce of poison that you get. Because you roll with a bold fellow, and the Most High said they're gonna get destroyed right along with him. And now they're doubling back, saying, "Hold on, this isn't right. He lied to us. Too late. Nobody pities a charmer that's bitten by a serpent or any such as come near wild beasts. You seen the videos, man. People want to play with the damn tigers and play with the lions and mess around and wrestle with bears and, you know, hanging out with the seals. And next thing you know, man, them damn animals turn on them. Tigers yanking cats into the damn cages. And you see them old goofy people, man, going to the damn the zoo. I seen it was one in New York that happened. I think a couple in India and no, not India. Somewhere in I think it was in Japan or China. People getting yanked up into these damn lion cages and jumping off into the, thinking it's all funny because you want to do it for the internet, man. They end up getting mauled. Miss Shalak sent a video to brothers the other day. Looking like this damn East Indian cat, man. He got a damn little stick. He tapping this, you know, trying to tame and regulate a damn elephant. Man, that elephant must have stomped that, slung him on the ground first, and then stepped on him till he damn near was a look. He folded this dude up, stepping on him, folded him like a damn box, a collapsed box. And it was over for him. And you think you was getting ready to tame a big ass elephant with a damn stick? The elephant man said, man, if you tap me one more time, man, I'm folding you. Tapped him one more time, man, slung his ass on the ground, man. Next you know, he started stepping on him, and that dude whole body just, I mean, I can only imagine the sound of them bones. And he was down there flat like a damn collapsed box. But who's gonna pity somebody that's into that, man? So now, is anybody shedding tears for the MAGA cult? Said he lied about everything. That's what they get. Oh, hold on, I got a video for you. Here you go.
And finally, you remember well in the campaign, you made a promise.
In this journey, I will never lie to you. I will never tell you something I do not believe.
Can you
Huh? Hold on. He just lied right there. No, before we continue, I know y'all. I'm a double back. Don't worry. I have to do this because I quoted it earlier, but we got to go there. Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. So there you go. So nobody pities a snake charmer when he gets bitten and gets hit with that serpentine lie of destruction and wickedness and witchcraft and everything else. As soon as he's born, man, he come out speaking lies. I mean, he cannot help. They are like the deaf adder that stop at the ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. There's no controlling it. Now he just got to lie. He just told a lie within a lie. Here we go.
And finally, you remember well in the campaign, you made a promise.
In this journey, I will never lie to you. I will never tell you something I do not believe.
Can you tell me now, honestly, have you kept to that promise at all times? Have you always been
I try.
truthful?
I mean, I do try. I think you try too. You say things about me that are not necessarily correct. I do try, and I always want to tell the truth when I can.
Oh, that's the key. I always try. Try is not doing. He can't do it. I try. I mean, you know, hey, look, you say stuff about me. Look, now he's comparing. But who's he talking to? Another damn Edomite. You lie too, don't you? You lie about me. And of course, the reporter's like, yeah, I'm not denying that. I lie, so what? And he said, I try. I try to tell the truth when I can. When can you? Because even the Most High said, never trust thy enemy, Sirach 12:10, Then obviously we know Proverbs 26:25 says, when he speaketh fair, don't believe him. Because there's 7 abominations in his heart. Even if he tells the truth, man, he got 7 abominable things he has to do to cover up that truth. It's in his nature.
I always want to tell the truth. When I can, I tell the truth. I mean, sometimes it turns out to be where something, and
what do you mean when you can? When you can, you tell the truth.
I always want to tell the truth. When I can, I tell the truth. I mean, sometimes it turns out to be where something happens that's different or there's a change, but I always like to be truthful.
That's a lie again. Okay, there it is from the horse's mouth. So let's continue. Trump warns Iran's weapons of mass destruction. Does that sound familiar? That sound familiar? Circa 2001, foaming out the mouth of George W. Bush, baby Bush, that got America into the Afghan war. Now he's saying Iran has weapons of mass destruction. I mean, the playbook couldn't be more blatant. I mean, if anybody still believes the narrative, man, you might as well just go ahead and sever your head off right now. If you believe that America is really out here fighting for democracy and fighting because of Iran's got weapons of mass destruction and they were going to use it on us and all this other stuff, come on, man. There you go. So how long was it after it was discovered that there was no WMDs and George Bush lied? Didn't take long. And before you know it, America was engulfed in a 20-year-long war. It wasn't like, oh, sorry guys, we were lied to. We went over here and bombed, and we thought y'all had some stuff hidden over there, man. Intelligence came back, told us that was wrong. We're gonna back up out of here, man. We're gonna restore all your goods, man. We apologize. That didn't happen. Number one, the Afghan people, they was like, no, hell no. We're already engaged in this. We're going all the way. America was like, guess what? They got poppy fields over here. We got the heroin trade jumping off. We need to stay over here, man, and hoard all this. And we need the oil, and we need to go ahead and establish more military bases and more might over here. We're going to stay in here for the long haul too. So what do you think is going to happen with this Iran war? You think all of a sudden the same playbook? Remember, the scriptures say that the things that were done aforetime were for our learning. So if you don't learn from the past, you're destined to, what they say, repeat it. So here's the same playbook. You might as well figure this thing gonna go as long as it takes until every other warfaring nation is involved. Because it's gonna affect this war. I mean, it's already affecting their energy, their livelihood, their gas, their food. Other nations now are getting affected, and they like, hey, we getting jacked up over here now. Do we have to jump in so that we can, sustain ourselves and fight for our own reasoning and our own lives? So here it is. The chump warned Iran today in wording that suggests the United States could attack with nuclear weapons. After Trump told Iran that unless they open the Strait of Hormuz without threat within 48 hours, the U.S. would target all Iran's electrical power plants and electrical infrastructure. Iran responded to that. Iran said that if the U.S. targets Iranian power plants, Iran will attack the electric infrastructure of countries hosting U.S. military bases and will also target desalination plants in those countries. Most nations in the Middle East have no significant fresh water of their own, so they're threatening the water supply. Iran is, that is. They're threatening the energy. They know that they're the hub of survival for many a country in the Middle East and extending beyond to the Far East. If they cut off these supplies, man, them nations are going to go ape-ish. They're either going to beg America to do something greater to help them, or they're going to join in on their own behalf, or they're going to have a moral compass and say, this ain't Iran's fault, man. We're going to jump in and help them to back down America so that we can get things flowing back, i.e. China. Yeah, China is standing with Iran. Iran is still helping, still hooking China up. Not like, they would like, but they're still getting some energy flowing through. They're allowing, certain ships to flow through that they're cool with. But this is what it is. But look down, here goes his little Truth Social post. He loves posting, man. The IRG just stated that it would bomb Iran's power plants. They'll bomb decentralization plants in the Gulf states. Do not do it. It would be a huge mistake. Majority of the people in the Gulf states rely on these desalination plants for their daily drinking water. The level of death and suffering caused will be comparable to that of weapons of mass destruction. Funny how he loves to put that in all caps. If the terror regime of Iran did it, we may have to respond with such weapons of our own. I pray I never have to do it, but if the lives of millions are at stake, I will not hesitate. Now, who's he praying to? He says he prays he won't have to do it. Hail Satan. That's who he's praying to. Great Father Shatan, please give me the strength and the courage to push the panic button, to destroy nations and destroy millions of lives, to starve out third world countries. If it be in your will, allow me to do so, and I'll forever serve you. That's his prayer. Talking about he's praying that he doesn't have to do it. He wants to do it. Look, escalation on all fronts as mediators say Iran hasn't requested a pause on U.S. energy strikes. So Iran didn't ask for no damn 10-day. Trump, listen, man, this dude is constantly lying. Again, Iran wants all the smoke. America's the one saying, pause, hold on. We got to go back to the bank. We need some more money so we can restockpile our weapons. We need a break. Time out. And Iran's like, no time out. No. Iran's missiles pierce Israel's defenses, raising doubts about interceptors. Yeah, they're talking about the small hats is over there reassessing and rationing out the interceptor missiles now. Though that Iron Dome is more like tinfoil at this point. Concern that Iran was amassing missiles to overwhelm defenses was a key factor in the push for war, officials said, and recent strikes laid bare Israel's vulnerability. Yeah, so that Iron Dome, they getting lit up over there, man, and Iran keeps coming more and more. Boom, 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 boom. And now Israel is like, we're running low on interceptors. We got to be more strategic in how we use them. We can't just be letting them fly. So they're in trouble. You seen what happened with them hitting up the energy facility near Dimona last week? There's constant videos. If you're looking in the right places, you're going to see them small hats running for their lives, getting hit up. They just had a U.S. base, and I believe in Saudi Arabia just got hit. I think they said 12 soldiers injured. One of them is seriously injured or damn near critical. Just now. And Trump is there, and them talking about stall us out. If you don't send the troops, retreat. Look, Israel scales back the use of top missile interceptors as Iran barrages persist. Look at that. But remember, they said the media tell the story as we see it. The small hats is reeling back. They're crawling back into their holes in turtle shells. Back down into the bunkers and the tunnels. Scaling back the use of their top missile interceptors because they like, man, we can't waste these things. Stockpile concerns push the defense establishment to rely on less advanced systems with mixed results. So they got to back down and they got to use secondhand missile defense systems that don't have the same results as their big boys. So opening them up to even more destruction. Remember the scene in 300? And the messenger from Xerxes came out and said, man, if you don't bow down, we're going to rain missiles on you like rain from the heavens, damn near. You know, the Iranians are kin and descendants of Elam, right? The Medes are out of Japhet. Iran is out of Shem and Elam. Now, Jeremiah 49:35 says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. Why does it say the chief of their might? The bow, the arrow. That was their strong point. The arrows was their main weapon. The Most High said that in judgment, he was going to break their bow, meaning he was going to cut off, as a future judgment, they were going to cut off their main access of weaponry, or what they like to do. So in the spirit, we see how this is playing out. Iran has got endless damn drones and these damn not intercontinental, what do they call them? I can't think of the name of them. I forgot the name of them. Oh, the ballistic missile. They've got damn near endless supplies of them. And this is exactly what America over there, the American regime and military in the Middle East, the small hats is facing right now. And they like, damn, they just keep coming. They keep coming. Pause. Hold on. Pause. Hold on. See, even when you're looking at it from this perspective, look at let's stay in Psalms. Psalm 7. And let's start at verse 9. That says, oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just for the righteous. The Most High trieth the hearts and reigns. My defense is of the Most High, which saveth the upright in heart. That's key. If we're looking to be saved in these times, man, because it's going to get hectic. Best believe. It's going to get hectic. It's going to be bad out here. Our defense has to be of the Most High. By simple IQAhmath, period. And he said he's going to save the upright in their heart, meaning our minds have to be focusing on the uprightness of the Most High, the law, statutes, and commandments. The fear of the Lord has to be instilled within us. It has to be part of our spiritual makeup. That's part of the transformation. That's part of repenting. That's part of change. You can't backslide. We can't keep backsliding into the old me, the old you. You know, we got to curve all of those things, man, and completely be locked in on the uprightness of the Most High. Otherwise, we will not be defended. When all hell breaks loose, man, there's no defense that you, me, or anybody else can provide for themselves that will be able to sustain us when the judgment happens for those of us here in the Americas and throughout the world. Verse 11, the Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. So he's constantly building up a stat sheet of all of the wickedness that the evil, you know, the nations are doing, the 2/3 of Israel is doing. He's constantly angry, man. So imagine every day the Most High is constantly mad. So when he has the opportunity and when the judgment happens, that anger gets released on the earth. Imagine how much power and how much anger that the Most High is going to unleash on this place. That's how you know this place is doomed. America is finished. Parts of the earth is going to be destroyed. Millions upon billions are going to be slaughtered. Suffering is going to be great because the Lord said he's angry every day. And imagine when he says, okay, it's time for me to let this anger out. If he turn not, he will not wet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. So what are the arrows? He said the instruments of death. You got ICBMs, you got biological warfare, you got, all different types of ammo and guns, you got, all these energy and sound weapons and lasers. I mean, remember, he got the so-called white man as a smith that creates the weapons of destruction. And the Most High's got all these particular instruments, man. He's putting them out there right now for the earth. Remember, even in Joel, he said, tell the heathen, man, prepare for war. Beat their plows into plowshares into weapons. All the instruments of death is being there. He said he ordained that his arrows against the persecutors. So what are those arrows, man? The arrows are them weapons. I mean, even when you look in this picture, when you see these arrows, what do they look like? They look like the modern day missiles that go on right now. That's the vision and the metaphorical visions that the prophets of old were seeing as they're flying in the air. The only thing that they could compare it to, they was like, man, it's like a dang missile flying in the air. I mean, like an arrow flying in the air and having the same impact when it hits. Takes out its target, cripples them. Let's read Psalm 120 in verse. We'll start at 1. We'll read down. It says, in my distress I cried unto Yahweh, and he heard me. Deliver my soul, O Yahweh, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. This is why it's so important now, man. When Yahweh Shai said that ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, the element of deceit is going to be so high in the last days that the only thing that we have to be looking for is deliverance from not being deceived. Remember, even Yahweh Shai said that the time got to be cut short for the elect's sake, otherwise they'll be deceived. From the advent of AI, deep fakes, you name it. I mean, propaganda, influencers, you name it. Everything is operating in the element of deceit. But underneath of that deceit, there is truth. We just have to dig down deep and find it. Right? So now it says, what shall be given unto thee, or what shall be done unto thee, thou false tongue? Sharp arrows of the mighty with coals of juniper. Now this, you got to look at what is a sharp arrow of the mighty with coals of juniper? Juniper is a tree in a root that is good for firewood. It burns a long time. So imagine if you got an arrow and it's made of juniper and it's lit as a coal on the bottom. That's the jet propulsion. That's the heat. That's the force that the arrows are going to be moving with. That's how we can see that an arrow being used as a similitude of what? A missile. And now you're seeing when they're talking about Elam unrelentingly hitting them with these missiles, and now the small hats is reeling back saying, they keep coming. We can't. Our interceptors, man. We running low. America's over here running low. Everybody's talking about how much they got to compromise what they got. And Iran is like, time out. No, we got more. We got more. We got more. They just got stuff to waste. At this point, that's what we're facing. That's what Esau is facing right now, right? Let's continue on. Yeah, subsequently, famine. That's also one of the weapons of the Most High. That's a fact. Famines, plagues, pestilence, Sirach, 39, tells us about the spirits that's created for vengeance. It's a death, hail, famine, fire. The Most High's got a complete arsenal of weapons of destruction. Now look at this. An analysis, a new oil shock is building. The next few weeks of war will be decisive for the economy. So just if we're just analyzing, you seeing what they're talking about. They're talking about within the next few weeks, man. They talk about mid-April. If things don't turn around, the global economy is facing collapse. The global economy, right? It's already tough on everybody, on the day-to-day here. But imagine the third world countries, imagine the ones who are relying upon their water, their grain, their fertilizer, their oil, their energy, everything else coming from these particular areas, and they're not getting it. It's over with. It is over with. Iran rains missiles into Israel and mocks Trump's talk joint of control of the strait. Yeah. Notice to say it rains missiles, just like they talked about in the movie, man. They got it like that. That's why they're so paranoid about them having access to uranium and to the access to be able to get nuclear power, because they like, man, they can make a nuke in like 2 weeks. That's how they've been established in the spirit, and they're blessing, right? The Houthis are now in. So Yemen has now jumped in, and they're bombing Israel. So you've got Iran fighting. Now they got the Houthis helping them. I believe they're trying to get Hezbollah is supposed to be, getting involved as well. So here you go. Earlier, U.S. officials said an Iranian strike at a military base in Saudi Arabia injured 12 troops. One of the most serious breaches of American defenses since the war began. So they're talking about now real American defenses are getting breached more seriously as time continues on, right? The Houthis is now getting involved. So now you got Yemen involved. So now another country is being involved. So are we inching closer to a world of war? Oh, okay. Maybe so. Let's continue. Iran claims to have attacked the U.S. aircraft carrier, fires missiles at bases across the Gulf, and tells America it is negotiating with yourselves. I mean, they can't be talking more bold and more ish back to America and Trump, man. And it's so crazy because Trump and these guys, they out here lying, talking about how much they whipping on the Iranians, and they're begging for peace. Remember Trump? They want peace. They want a deal. They want a deal. And meanwhile, they're like, no, we don't. You talking to yourself, man. You in the mirror pumping yourself up. Now get back out here and take this ass whooping. Oh, all right. Gulf nations tell the United Nations they face existential threat from Iran following attacks on energy sites. Iran says non-hostile vessels can transit the Strait of Hormuz. Pakistan delivers a U.S. peace proposal to Iran amid hopes for meeting between Tehran and Washington. Oil prices tumble as markets react to Donald Trump's peace plan. There ain't no peace. Thus saith the Lord. The Lord said, when they shall say peace, peace, sudden destruction happen. In Ezekiel, that's exactly what's going down. Look, Iranian missiles are sowing panic and destruction in Israeli towns. I mean, I don't see too much going on the opposite end. We're seeing more about how aggressive Iran is getting than we are hearing about what the small hats in America is doing. IRGC hits over 70 Israeli targets with precision missiles. In the 81st wave of retaliation. Now, I don't know. I need to take something is going on with this thing, man. For some reason, it constantly just freezes me. Slacky, y'all. Our share is freezing, but it's okay. We'll just get straight to the article, right? IRGC hits over 70 Israeli targets with precision missiles in the 81st wave of retaliation. So you talking about raining missiles, you talking about them getting the sky being blackened out. They getting hit, man. They getting hit. The small hats is running for their lives over there, begging for America to get more aggressive. America's like, all right, calm down. We're going to get some troops over there. We'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, maybe we could talk peace first. Of course, the small hats, they don't want no peace either. But they ain't prepared to go to the full extent with Iran, just like America's not. So we're seeing how that's playing out. Let's continue on. Pentagon weighs sending another 10,000 ground troops to the Middle East, suggests seizing Iran-controlled islands. So there you go. And there goes the example of the arrow right here. So now they're talking another 10,000. Well, we seen the numbers and the stats. They was already talking about 40 to 50,000 is already registered for the war. Now they talking about another 10,000 getting sent over there, right? All right, see y'all later. And look who's laughing all the way to the bank. Putin over here laughing all the way to the bank, man. He's making $760 million a day. Remember they had to take off them sanctions? Trump had to bow down. He told Putin, man, he said, I'm going to take the sanctions off. You can sell your oil. We can't extend this crisis any longer, man. Go ahead and get yours. $760 million a day, man, from oil as the war in Iran delivers a windfall. So you know, Russia, Putin, they want this to continue on because he's making money hand over fist. And Iran is one of his allies. So if anything goes bad, he's going to help them stay in the war. Remember, it said that he's got to be a guard unto them. Speaking about Persia, aka Iran. So they ain't trying to get this thing to stop. He's making too much dang money. Raking in $760 million a day as the war in Iran drives soaring demand for Russian oil. Kremlin sales from oil and gas will double from about 12 billion to nearly 24 billion this month as Putin profits from enormous price surge and Donald Trump sanctions waivers, according to the Kiev School of Economics. So I don't see any reason why Russia would be looking for peace when they're making all this money off the war too. Look at it. Nations are racing to secure enough fertilizer and prevent a food crisis. Yeah, well, it's a little too late for that. This is where we're at now. Let me get that in a second. Shalaki. Six. And I'm gonna start at 19. We're gonna read down, right? The second Ezra 6:19. It says, and well, you know what? Let's start at 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I would begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So we're seeing the visitation of the Most High. The judgment of the Lord is getting ready to prevail against the earth and all those that dwell therein, right? Verse 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly for their unrighteousness. So now he's going to make inquisition, meaning judgment is going to happen for those who is involved in sin, wickedness, and unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Well, at what point in time are we looking at? It says when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Oops, it's not it. Isaiah 40. We're entering into those times where the Most High has acknowledged and said that it is time for the sins of Zion to be forgiven and for Israel to embrace its place in the earth, you know, because there is a time when the Most High said he's going to raise up off of us the affliction and the cursings and give us the opportunity for the grace and the mercies via the blood of Hamashiach Yahushai for us to repent and to reconcile our ways to him. So we see a judgment that just went down. That says that I want to quote it correctly, the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So Isaiah 40 says, verse 1, comfort ye my people, saith your power. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished. So that, you know, goes into Isaiah 58:1, where the Lord said to cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. This is the mission for the men of the Lord going into the highways and the hedges to awaken our people, because now we have to acknowledge and say, okay, we've got the answers, we got understanding. The curses the ignorances of our people, the breaking of the commandments. This was the reason why things have been, the good things are being withheld from us. This is why we're being afflicted. This is why we're going through what we're going through. Now we can comfortably, with pure confidence, and give our people understanding about who we are, how we're supposed to be living, how we're supposed to treat each other, how we're supposed to conduct business with each other, how we're supposed to worship the Most High, right? The ceremonial ways in which we're Most High willing, everybody's going to be participating in next week with Passover. Like, these are all things we comfortably speak to Jerusalem and cry unto her, telling our people passionately. Sometimes they, that yelling up, that's his passion, man. That's passion the brothers have for the desire for our people to wake up and come back to the Most High. And let it be known that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she have received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins, right? The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahweh, make straight the desert a highway for our power. So this is what it is. We're laying down the pathway for our people to come back, to receive the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding of the Most High, right? To be able to return back to the Most High in truth and in spirit, because that's what it requires. John 4 and 20, around 24 to 26 says the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And now that our iniquity, the warfare is come, the Lord said, now the doors of grace have been opened to you. Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, your iniquity has been opened up for a pardoning. And it's time for our people to wake up and come back, right? So now this is when we get back in the second Ezra chapter 6 and 19. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away. So the world, meaning the age or the time, is going to be a changing of the age of the time, right? When the world that shall begin to vanish away. So the way in which the age and the time that we came up in, the world of Esau, as 2 Ezra chapter 6 in the earlier verse said, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth it. That's the world that's going to vanish away. The world is being ran under Esau. He's losing a grip as we speak. This is why he's pushing the panic button. He's going to all ends of the earth, trying to establish a Don Road doctrine. No, I got full control of the Western Hemisphere. Nobody's doing anything with it unless I say so. And if you don't like it, bombs is heading your way. Oh, you don't like it over there in Middle East, 50,000 troops is on deck. We got you, riding over there in Africa. I mean, he's trying to hold on to every little last bit of control that he has. Because why? It's vanishing away. Even when you look at the biological reproductive rates of the so-called whites, they're dying off more than they are being birthed. There's a crisis amongst them. This is why they're trying to do test tube babies and veto fertilization and adoptions in any way that they can. What's her name? Epstein had his own little what was the name of the place? Not the island, but he had the ranch where he was trying to practice eugenics over there. Somebody remember, or you know what I'm talking about, man? Throw it in the chat. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But he had the ranch over there, man. He was doing the eugenics experimentations, trying to establish his own little seed line. Yeah, all that's vanishing away, right? And he knows it. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, because how do I say he knows it? Revelation 12 says that the devil knows he has but a short time. When the demons was getting rebuked of Yahushua that was in Legion over there, I believe it's in Mark 8. They said, Yahushua, son of the man, have you come to torture us before the time? They know what time it is. And it's ticking. That's why the Most High said, measure the time. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Everything will be on one accord. And in the latter times, it's going to be even more. The water ashar Zorro Ranch. That's right. In the latter times, you're going to see miraculous things like this happen. The children of 1 year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live. So premature babies coming out 3, 4 months, years old, they're going to be able to still survive. 1 year olds speaking. I've seen some videos, man, where you got babies popping out, man, out the womb, completely aware. One baby, man, this is a few years ago. I did a DSTM on it on my other channel, the IQ channel, and that got deleted. But man, this little dude, he couldn't have been more than some days old or something like that. Eyes wide open, no holding his head. He's shaking, looking back and forth. Like, I'm back? What's going on? I mean, I was like, you know, you could see the spirit within this little baby, man. He had an old soul in him, and he was wide awake, completely aware, and he couldn't have been more than a few days old. And he was looking with nobody holding his head. You know, the baby, man, you gotta hold the head and the neck. And he was out there looking around like, damn, I'm back. I said, oh man, this is the time. And it was a little Israelite baby too. Now, continuing on, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. What's this meaning? The sown places are the farms, the crops, the storehouses, right? That used to have an abundance of food in there. Now they're going to appear to be unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Everybody got a nice little sneak peek of that during the COVID era. Right? Now, food shortage, remember, people was scrambling in line, stockpiling, panic buying, toilet paper, paper towels, food, meat, stocking up, and all that other stuff, man. It's getting ready to get back to that. But the problem is when COVID was hitting, the inflation wasn't as bad as it is now. So the prices of food is already up even worse than it was back then. So can you afford to stockpile? Can you afford without, maxing out the credit card, without, right now people are financing them groceries. You dig what I'm saying? So it ain't as easy as it used to be to go over there and stockpile up on what you want. Every grocery store, man, has only 2 or 3 days worth of food in there, if that. And they're relying on weekly deliveries of food and goods and services. Now, when the shipping slows down because of this whole crisis, when these private contracting delivery trucks that's got to pay thousands of dollars in diesel to get the food in there, and they got to scale back, like, I can't take all them routes, man, it's costing me too much, can't do it. Or when they decide that they're just going to hijack the damn trucks themselves because they got families to feed, and they want to go slang the food themselves so they can make it come up and say, F this job, I'm taking this load, and I'm gonna sell this myself. Who knows what they're gonna do? But all of that is realistic possibilities, right? Now, going back over here, I'm gonna stop there just for time's sake, right? Fertilizer is one of the things that's necessary, obviously, for sowing of the food, sowing in the fields to produce the food. They're already talking about fertilizer shortages over there in the Middle East, where crops can't get grown, which i.e. leads to famine. Governments are rushing to secure supplies of critical crop nutrients ahead of a spring planting as the Middle East war chokes off the flow of commodities and amplifies fears of a global crisis. Yeah, that's right. Because now what? It's springtime. This is the time to sow. So that what? You can get the reap the fruits and the development of the crops, especially in our culture, because we're going to lead up to what? First fruits. And that's when the development of the first fruits that come from your spring harvest gets dedicated to the Most High, and so forth and so on. So now they're saying that the spring crops and the spring planting season is in jeopardy because of the fertilizer shortages. So what does that mean for the food supplies that's going to happen to a lot of Middle East countries and Far East countries that don't get the fertilizer? They're going to come up short this summer on food, right? Now, governments are rushing to secure supplies of the critical crop nutrients ahead of spring planting as the Middle East war chokes off the flow of commodities and amplifies fears of a global food crisis. Fertilizers exemplify the tight link between energy and food prices underpinning harvests worldwide. The Middle East is a vital supplier, which is, rich in both mineral reserves and the gas needed to produce nutrients for staples like corn, wheat, and rice. With the Strait of Hormuz effectively shut, shipments have ground to a halt as Iran, the U.S., and Israel continue to exchange strikes on energy infrastructure. So not only are they doing that, but they're actually actively destroying energy infrastructures, which is only going to hurt all of the damn countries that are relying upon these countries for the shipments of oil and energy. So they are actively looking at destroying the means of survival for many a nation. Just like that's why they said even Iran is talking about knocking down the basically the desalination. It's hard to get that one out. Plants where the water is going through and flowing through, right? So effectively looking at a water shortage. But look at this. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth it, they shall be suddenly afraid. So this, goes into the seven trumpets and, the aware of Revelation. Now, in Revelation, I believe that's in Revelation 8 and 9. And as these trumpets are sounding, you hear this as well. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. Look at that. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. What is this? You think we about to get hit with drones, man? The West Coast, they said the drone strike is coming. We need to, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go. That's one way I could have went viral if I was concerned about that. Lie, it's one of them little Amber Alerts or something like that. But anyway, if I was over there amongst the small hats, that would have been a real thing. They would have definitely been hearing that. Bombs ain't coming, get in the bunkers, right? But look at this. Verse 24 says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. This shows you the desperation for survival that's going to be happening. Let alone you're seeing neighboring countries like, look, Russia and Ukraine are the same people, but they're fighting like enemies, right? You see Pakistan and India, they go to war. They same people, but they going at it like that, right? China and Taiwan, same people fighting like enemies. These are all, oh, here come another one. I gotta go, yo. I gotta get up out of here, man. They coming, they come. Good Lord. But you can't make this up, man. And that's so interesting. Just look at it in the spirit, though. I just read verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid. And then here comes this alert on the phones. Think about that in the spirit. We're onto something here. Clearly, it's timely. What I'm talking about is relevant. right? Uh, Now, verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So, what is this talking about? There's going to be a water shortage. There's going to be a pause on the flowing of water supplies. And now here we're talking about Iran cutting off uh, the water plants that produce the water for many a country in the Middle East. And that's why you see Agent Orange talking about, oh, if they do that, I might have to use my own weapon of mass destruction. And I pray I don't have to do it because I don't want to see millions of people suffer and die. Think about it. And we're seeing some of these things come to pass in real time. Nations race to secure enough fertilizer and prevent a food crisis. U.S. issues security alert to Americans around the world. Yeah, it's not great to be an American right now. You're facing the rebuke of many a nation, people traveling abroad, the passport bros, all of them people, man, they say, hey, man, watch out. You better be on high alert and on guard because everybody don't love us at this point. But the scriptures say that. The scripture said, man, the 10 horns going to hate the whore. Those that were in league with them, they're going to turn on them and all of that, right? So look at this. The U.S. Department of State has issued a worldwide alert on March 22nd, 2026, urging Americans across the globe to exercise increased caution as geopolitical tensions continue to ripple far beyond the Middle East. The advisory posted early Sunday warns that U.S. diplomatic facilities and American interests abroad could face elevated risk in the coming weeks. While the advisory does not cite a specific imminent threat, it highlights growing concern that groups supportive of Iran may widen the scope of their targets. These groups could focus on locations associated broadly with the United States, including American businesses, cultural centers, or areas frequented by U.S. travelers. So, yeah, Americans worldwide now, they're saying, hey, be on alert. If you say you're American, you might be targeted. We got beef with a lot of people, and you might just be a casualty of it. This is why the Lord told us earlier, we read in Sirach, not to travel away with a bold fellow, because you're going to catch, loosely paraphrasing, you're going to be destroyed right along with him, guilty by association. Emerging from the latest blackout, Cuba says they're ready for a potential U.S. attack. So they know that they could be next. Trump promised that when he hit Venezuela. He said, look, Cuba's next, Mexico, Ecuador. Then we're going to go over there to Colombia. I want it all. U.S. President Trump, who cut off oil supplies to Cuba after abducting Venezuela's President Maduro, has threatened to take over the island nation. Now, this is how you know how hypocritical this dude is. While he's running around parading, acting like he's this big old diplomat and how much he cares for the lives of millions, if Iran decides to cut off the energy and the water supplies to the Middle East, he's actively doing that with the island of Cuba. Actively cutting off their livelihood, their oil, their energy, their water. I mean, you name it. They're getting starved out and destroyed over there. And he's over here acting like he's this damn savior. And he's doing the exact same thing. All right, y'all get the point. The Cuban government has said it's prepared for any potential United States attacks as the island nation begins to recover from yet another blackout under a punishing oil blockade imposed by Washington that has pushed its economy to the brink. Actively doing the same thing that Iran is doing, and Iran is only doing it because they were attacked by America. And it's a strategic move for them to do, to cut off supplies and make everybody bow down and say, look, get them off, tell them back up, and y'all can live again. Deputy Foreign Minister Carlos Fernandez de Cosio responded on Sunday to President Donald Trump's threats this week to take over Cuba, insisting that it had, quote, historically been ready to mobilize as a nation for military aggression. We don't believe it's something that is probable, but we would be naive if we do not prepare. Finally, he's thinking on his toes. He said, we don't think it's probable, but we're not going to be naive. In other words, we don't trust our enemy. We're not falling for it. He's got us in blackouts, starving us out. Hospital care is down because they can't, uphold health care for everybody. Food supplies over there getting shut. Come on, man. And then he's sitting up attacking like Iran is damn terrorists. Anyway, President Stubb of Finland, we must face reality. The West has split. The influential European leader on salvaging the transatlantic partnership and how Trump's actions are making it harder to defeat Russia. Yeah, well, there you have it. That's scriptural. We know that there's going to be a fractured relationship between the whore, which is America, in Revelation 17, and the 10 horns, which are the European nations and their military backing of NATO. And now it's coming out even more clear. There's a split. There's a divide. And a kingdom divided against itself can't stand. All praise to the Most High. Everything is planning out, going according to the plan of the Most High. It's going according to the deliverance of the children of Israel. All praises. Slovenia limits fuel purchases as some pumps are running dry. Yeah, they're rationing gas in certain countries now. It's bad out there. I think last week I had covered an article where they were encouraging people, if you could work from home, stay at home, don't use gas if you don't need it. We just need essential people to be able to utilize the gas. You dig what I'm saying? But what does that sound like? Oh, COVID. Oh, stay home. Lock in. Only travel if you need to. No, you can't come to the hospital. You can't go see your sick loved ones. You can't go here. You can't go there. But now this is going to be surrounded around energy, gas. Only essential people can use this. But don't worry, because once they, get the 15-minute cities lined up, the carbon credit, digital, ID and digital monetary systems lined up, they can ration out the food. They can ration out. Man, I just seen this a little bit of what was it? I think it was Escape from L.A. That old movie. I seen a little highlight of that the other day. I just turned it on, and it was just one scene at the end, and some cat was talking to Snake Plissken, and he had made something. He made I think it was that. But anyway, they were talking about how much, basically how things is going to be if they, get their new world order established. They were talking about you're banned from eating red meat. You stay over here. You can't do this. You can't do that. And I was like, I got to go back and watch that. It was a corny, kind of corny movie, but I don't think I've seen all of Escape from LA. I seen Escape from New York. I liked that one as a kid, but the Escape from LA, I didn't watch. I don't think I ever finished that. But anyway, I don't know why I brought that up, but it has something to do with the establishment of this new control grid, the digital ID system, the universal basic income, the no property rights value. I mean, no property rights. There'll be no ownership. Everybody's going to be forever renters. And they even got plans, man, where they tell you you're going to live in a place for a few years and then you got to bounce and give it to somebody else and constantly getting rotated around. I mean, it's all kind of matters going on, man. The rise of the machines. You just seen Melania walking down a little walking out. I forgot what the event was. She's walking side by side with a damn robot as they're trying to implant that thought in everybody's mind that that's going to be the new normal. the iRobot situation. I mean, it's all kind of folly going on out here, man. Slovenia, they're limiting fuel pump purchases. Look at this in the Philippines. State of emergency.
The Philippines is under a national energy emergency as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. moves to safeguard the country's fuel supply and energy stability amid the ongoing Middle East conflict. Under Executive Order number 110, the government has launched Uplift, Unified Package for Livelihoods, Industry, Food and Transport, a centralized framework to manage the crisis. A cabinet-level uplift committee chaired by the president will coordinate key agencies, including energy, transport, finance, agriculture, social welfare, and budget. The program directs authorities to monitor fuel, food, medicines, and other essentials, ensure public transport, utilities, and hospitals operate without disruption, and crack down on hoarding or profiteering. The Department of Energy is authorized to implement energy-saving and conservation measures, secure fuel supply, and intervene in the electricity market if needed. Government offices and local units are required to adopt energy efficiency measures, while the private sector is urged to support supply chains, reduce fuel demand, and prevent unfair pricing. The energy emergency will remain in effect for 1 year, with funding sourced from existing government budgets and additional allocations as necessary. The declaration of a state of national energy emergency, according to the EO, will enable the government to implement responsive and coordinated measures to address the risks posed by disruptions in the global energy supply and domestic economy.
Now imagine, this war has only been going on for like a month. And the Strait of Hormuz has been shut down for like 2 weeks. So that lets you know how desperate and how reliant upon the oil and the energy these countries were when it comes down to survival. They ain't got that 2 week supply and that's it. State of emergency, food rationing, gas rationing, energy conservation. After 2 weeks, man, give it a month, man, whole countries can collapse if something ain't done. Now look at this. Y'all be thinking we'd be out here BSing in LA, man. I took this picture 3 weeks ago. You see the price. It is nasty out here. Look, I'll zoom in. That was 3 weeks ago. I dare. Now I haven't drove this route in another 3 weeks. I haven't drove it since. But when I seen that, I said, oh my goodness. It is over with. Now, that was 3 weeks ago. Lord knows what it is because you can see every week these prices have been going up. I was getting gas yesterday. And I tell you, sometimes I'll observe, and I was telling this to Other Guy last night. Sometimes I'll observe, like, how are people getting by? And the cash price or the debit price is different than the credit price. It's usually maybe about 10 cents more. So I was looking and I was waiting behind this cat, had a Porsche Cayenne, looked like it was, late 2020 something. And he wheeled off. I was like, okay, that was a nice car. I used to love Porsches when I was a kid. So he got in, peeled off, right? I get out, I'm getting ready to put my gas in. I look, the cat put $20 in and used credit. And he had the credit prices on the machine. I said, damn. First of all, I'm tripping at the damn Porsche. He going to Arco. Arco is one of the cheaper gas places in LA. I said, man, okay. That was my first thing. I was like, okay, man, even the little rich cats, man, is over here trying to budget out their gas. But then when he put $20 on a credit card, I said, $20 ain't gonna get you nowhere, let alone you had to throw that on your credit card. I said, man, people's out here fronting like a mug, boy, faking it just to make it. I couldn't stop laughing. I said, damn, he put 20 bucks, a dub on a credit. I said, oh man, it's bad out here. And then I try to, use my debit card to get my gas, and the damn thing kept trying to make me use credit and trying to increase the price. I went inside. I said, hell no. I canceled the thing. I went inside. I told the dude, I said, man, I'm trying to put money and use my debit card, and it keeps trying to make me use credit. He was like, what? He said, did you put your PIN in? I said, I couldn't even. I put 2 numbers in, and then it would just automatically go and switch to the credit. He was like, damn, it's acting like it knows your debit card number. I mean, your PIN number. I said, who you telling? I said, man, I'm watching you. Make sure I don't get no damn charges on my card saying I use credit to get the damn gas. So we laughed about it. I left, man, but I thought that was interesting and funny to a degree. I don't know, I couldn't tell who it was in that Porsche, but I said, damn, this guy got a new Porsche and can barely put gas in that damn thing. And Lord knows what he's paying a month. They saying nowadays that the average car note is damn near like $800. I showed y'all that article last week, but the woman wanted to get the damn BMW. She paid $800 something for the Beamer plus $2 something for the insurance and all kind of, people paying down $1,100-1,200 just to drive. It's wild out here, man. But anyway, I thought I should take this picture, man, share it with y'all, man. Pray for us out here in Cali, man, because not only is this just based upon the energy crisis, but they're shutting down oil refineries out here because of the cost of doing business operations in California. A lot of them have been leaving. I think one of the refineries, over in Wilmington, their contract is up the end of this month or the end of April. So there's going to be less refineries, meaning that the gas is going to, we was already expecting to be paying higher gas prices this year. This is before the war. They was already talking about this last year. So it was already like, okay, boom, we're going to end up having to pay more gas because these refineries is running up out of here because the damn governor's jacking stuff up, and then the refineries is somehow mysteriously catching fire. If y'all remember that last year, now all of a sudden they're getting destroyed, they're leaving. So it was already a monopoly they was already trying to institute with this gas, and now the war don't make it no better. We're gonna be paying $8 and $9 a gallon, maybe by the summer, if shit don't get get rectified. So brothers and sisters, when we be fellowshipping, man, we might have to get a gas pot together, so we can all make it where we need to make it, because it's nasty out here right now, y'all. And you can forget about the damn bus and the trains, because unless you're willing to sacrifice another 4 hours out of your day to get where you need to get and deal with all the damn madness that goes on them transits, it's bad. And I noticed too, me and Adadad talked about that, you see a lot more people riding around in them damn electric bikes. That's becoming a new thing. And they want everybody on the EVs. They want you on the electric vehicles. And who can afford to reinvest in that right now? Ain't nobody trying to sell their car to go buy another electric car to get in debt with. We're stuck. I told her I might go on Temu or something and buy one of them damn electric bikes. Cause it's nasty. Anyway, I was getting my cardio in, and I was walking, and I seen this little 10 Tribe cat, man, was waiting at the light, and he spoke. I said, "What's up?" to him, and he was on his little electric bike. I said, "Man, how long does that thing stay charged?" He was like, "About 2 hours." I said, "Oh, okay." And I thought about it. I said, "Man, 2 hours ain't nothing." But I thought about it. I said, "Well, if you're on a bike and you going locally, you riding around, you stopping and going or wherever you got to go." I said, "Man, 2 hours might last you, half a day as your errands, or the whole day can last you, depending on where you're going." I said, "Oh, okay. I might have to do that." The way this shit is looking. Woo! Yeah, old school bikes and skateboards. Yeah, for sure. You're gonna see all kind of old cats, man, getting back in shape out here. It's bad. You see what's going on with that pilot and co-pilot got put to death, man, when they ran into the damn fire truck in New York because of the the government shutdown crisis with TSA and everything else, and the air traffic controllers. I believe they just signed a little bill so they can get paid. But that nightmare is hell, man. Them airports and things that was going on with that before they made this little deal. That was a whole nother thing. I ain't really talked too much about that with the TSA situation. But apparently that's been rectified to a degree. And, Trump was even throwing ICE in there to replace the TSA agents, and that was a whole nother mess, man. People getting accosted and harassed by ICE, even at the damn airports, man. It was already a hectic situation with that. But, there we see what's going down with that situation. All right, so you had the collision with the jet and the fire truck at the airport, man. Multiple people got injured, but the pilot and the co-pilot, man, got put to death, man. So, traveling is even becoming even more of a risk. But now you talking about travel, but the way these gas prices and the cost of airlines are going up, man, ain't nobody gonna be traveling. And what's so crazy is all this is going on, and these goofy ass jakes are still trying to think about Easter. They worried about damn Easter. I was at the store yesterday, and it was a Northern Kingdom sister in front of me, man. She was stacking up these damn, all this Easter crap, but they had some egg cartons. She must have had about 12 egg cartons in the basket. And I was like, what the hell are those? And it was some damn confetti eggs. And she was buying all this stuff up, man. I'm going in the stores. I'm seeing Easter crap all over the place. I don't even know when. I think it's tomorrow. I don't even know. But they worried about that. The little YNs and the little hot mamas is out here. Was out here acting a damn fool at spring break, spreading STDs and getting high and drunk and losing their damn minds last week. And all this is going on, man. This is why the Lord was like, let favor be shown to the wicked. They ain't gonna learn righteousness, man. They don't give a damn. I got to destroy them. I got to get rid of them. Dead weight. Now check this out. Sora has been shut down by OpenAI. Is the AI bubble about to burst? That ain't what I'm really concerned about. If y'all see, some of y'all may not know or haven't really taken notice about what Sora is. Sora is the AI that makes stuff look really real. And we get deceived by it, right? But they always put like a watermark on there. They put a watermark. Let's see this. Maybe we'll find one. Like, look at this. This is all AI. But part, you see this up here? Because sometimes, man, Jakes will send me videos. They like, man, check this out. You see this? And it's like, that's AI. Nah, for real? Oh, damn, I ain't know. Sora is the high-tech AI, and they put their watermark up in here, right? So anytime you see a video, if it says Sora, it's AI. It's not real.
Here comes Stephen Hawking, rolling smooth down the runway. Plant is in, and he is up. Over the top, clears it. The bar stays. Incredible.
Sir, you still have to pay for the slushie.
My sister, I have a dream that one day this slushie will be free for all who thirst.
Sir, hey, sir, this isn't about dreams.
These Jakes, man, is ridiculous. Okay. So You see what Sora is, right? Now, why is this important? Now, the age of deception, deceit. This is one of the key tools and weapons that Esau has at its disposal. So now it says it's been shut down by OpenAI, right? So they're shutting down the app. That people aren't allowed to have it anymore. They're not being able to use it, right? Now it says when ChatGPT came on the scene in 2022, Silicon Valley types immediately compared AI to the dawn of the internet of the 90s. OpenAI received the same fanfare when it unveiled Sora 2 years later by typing a sentence or two into a box on a phone screen. A user could generate a short video that looked straight out of Hollywood. Disney even signed a 3-year, billion-dollar deal to allow Sora users to forge clips using characters like Mickey, Mouse, Cinderella, and Yoda. Yet, OpenAI abruptly announced yesterday that it is pulling the plug on Sora consumer app and internet service. No reason was given. Now, hold on. Does that make sense to you? You just struck $1 billion. That's one deal. Disney made a 3-year, billion-dollar deal to allow Sora to do this. It's massively popular, and you decide to pull the plug and don't give no reason. I suspect that they want to be able to control that. They're saying, well, people can't use it no more, but we can. You dig what I'm saying? They will still have the opportunity to utilize the technology to create narratives for control, for deception, while the public won't be able to use it. So then it becomes more, it becomes more confusing to say, well, this got to be real. Nobody got Sora anymore. The app doesn't exist anymore. Oh no, it's still around. It's still available, but only to the controllers. See, they tickled everybody's cheeks with a feather to see what the tech can do and get all excited about it. And then they see people are getting deceived by it, people are getting confused by it, people don't know what's real, what isn't anymore, questioning, and then they pull the plug. And now once people get, hooked on it, they're like, oh, damn, they took it from us. But then when the future comes around and they start utilizing this tech again on us, you know what happened. They're still going to use it. They said no reason was given. They ain't shut it down. They still got it, but they just not allowing it to be public anymore. So be careful with these deep fakes. I mean, AI stuff, man, because who knows how they could use it to shape the narrative with the war, how they could incite a race war, anything. They could pop out a video. Remember last year, I think it was last year, when I showed the video when they had the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and they had a video of him stealing in a store. They used the whole AI video, acting like he was stealing from the store. The security guard went and rushed him. Remember that? Yeah, the hidden camera video. Oh, guess what? The Israelites just raped a little girl, raped him. You feel what I'm saying? Like they can do anything now, because now they can say, you can't say my phone was hacked. You can't say, because the app ain't available no more. Nobody has it anymore, but they do. So what devious and insidious ways could they utilize the tech to frame people, to do all kind of madness? Think about it. There you go. Chevron warns California facing historic fuel crisis as diesel hits a record $7. Yeah, pray for us out here. Like I said, from the war, not only from the war, but the shutting down of these these refineries out here. It's all bad. All bad. More reason for I said, never mind. Never mind. Look, Mexico Central Bank, BIS, and BlackRock discuss phasing out cash and the future of a digital money. So there's always still something operating and bubbling on the underground. They're still pushing for a cashless society. They still want a digital currency. They want the digital ID. They want everybody to be set up in a surveillance grid. You understand what I'm saying? So Mexico's already looking at trying to get biometric ID rollout, digital money, beast system, the mark, all that is all in full flare, right? So let's not forget about that, because while, like I always say, it's 3-card money, man. You don't want to know what the left hand's doing, the right hand what the left is doing. They want you to focus in. Where's the ball? They moving around stuff, and you looking, and you get duped because we're looking in so many different directions, and they still operating doing dirt on the low. As the 89th banking convention wraps up in Cancun today, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, another small hat, and former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shared a stage with Visa, MasterCard, BlackRock, and the BIS amid a focus on ending cash that ties perfectly into Mexico's ongoing biometric ID rollout. There you go. Wednesday, the 89th Banking Convention began in Cancun, Mexico, as representatives from the Mexican government and banking sector met to discuss the future of digital payments and the phasing out of cash in a country where more than 3/4 of the population depends on it. So they already got 3/4 that they're going to have to merge in with the machine. They're going to have to get the biometric ID rollout if they want to survive. There you go. That's still in effect, y'all. Don't sleep. Even that's on the come up. So here's the question, man. How much is Trump really worth? The answer, $6.5 billion. Here you go. Trump added $1.4 billion over the past year, leveraging the presidency for profit. So if anybody's wondering where and how or why, what's he doing? He's doing all this for profit. He's getting money. He's shaking down companies and countries. He's hoarding resources, right? $1.4 billion, man, he's made in the year and some change since he's been in office. This is why he throws out all these damn bluffs, because he knows it's manipulating the markets. He knows that his pocket is getting greased by his little his billionaire buddies and the PDF file, crowd that he's associated with through the Epstein scandals. You understand? So is it about money? The love of money is the root of all evil, man. You know that old saying where they say, you want to know what evil is, man? Follow the money. Well, there you go. Follow the money. You're going to find out where everything is going. Look at this. Trump's signature to appear on paper currency and a first for a sitting president. He knows no bounds, man. He wants his image on there talking about in God we trust. He wants to write his signature on the damn paper currencies now. I mean, the paper currencies ain't worth jack squat anyway anymore. It's already deflationary. So what good is that? But he's trying to impose his will, the new Caesar, if you will. Texas Trump voters are turning on immigration policies as ICE raids gut workforce. Construction projects across southern Texas have halted after raids have swept up undocumented workers, says business owners. Yeah. Well, who else is going to build America? It's always been built on the back of slaves. It's always been built on the backs of immigrant and migrant workers. You take them away, now America's suffering. You feel me? Like, look. Naquab sent a video, man. This damn demon ass white broad. She hires so-called immigrant workers to do construction on a house, and then called ICE on them so she didn't have to pay the $10,000 she owed, and got them swept up out of there. This is how devious and wicked Esau is, man. And our people is running around here wanting to put their fingers on their belt loops and follow them around and be pimped out and hold out by them. In love with their captors, man, with Stockholm Syndrome. And they doing evil like that. Unbelievable. Now look at down here, quote. But we voted for the American dream, and unfortunately right now we're not seeing that. For months, ICE raids have been sweeping up workers at construction sites in the state. Yeah, so now the voters down there, they even threatening to turn Texas into a Democrat state because they don't like the policies and everything and how it's affecting their businesses and shutting everything down over there. Now all of a sudden Texas, they're pro-immigration when it comes down to them damn slaves. They need to work them fields and work them construction sites and build up their empires. They ain't got that. Oh, it's a problem. Look at these damn maniacs. They're hitting the first fully robotic McDonald's over in China. And I always say, China is the blueprint. They're the guinea pig. Moab is always being used to set the stage for what America truly desires and what they will eventually be implementing. And look at them. They just so happy that they got robots playing with them out there. But this is it. You know, they got a robot burger place out in Pasadena. They got one down there in Texas. You know, it's not gonna be fun for the workers that get replaced. We already see layoffs at all-time highs, zero job creation, and your replacements is here. And look how the people react. They think it's so cool and so great. In a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Volume of stock and oil futures surged minutes before Trump's market turning post. See that? This is what I was talking about earlier. Stock and oil futures surged minutes before Trump's market turning post. So he's making posts, he's making announcements, knowing that he's manipulating the markets. That's all that is. When he's making these bold predictions and bold talks and negotiating peace, and it's all lies. That's why Iran is like, who are you talking to? You talking to yourself? Because we ain't heard from you. We ain't talked to Steve Witkoff. We ain't talked to Kushner. We ain't talked to you. What are you talking about? Who are y'all talking amongst each other? What peace talks? Who's negotiating? Who's the right people? Next thing you know, the markets react. Money flows in. And then everything goes to hell in the handbasket next week when they find out he lied. So there's definite market manipulation going on. Look, mysterious trading patterns followed Trump into the war. White House scrambles to downplay shockingly well-timed bets. They out here gambling with people's lives, gambling with the sustainability of whole countries and islands so that they can pocket bread. That's all that this is. Look at this. The Daily Beast reported Tuesday the trades were worth roughly $580 million. Oil prices then dropped sharply after Trump's post while stock futures jumped. I mean, this goes without saying, man. This is plain. And now they're scrambling, talking, trying to downplay it. No, it wasn't that. No, this is just happenstance. No, this is all real. No. See what it is. He's out here doing money grabs. Slow Biden was in there, allowing it to be a trap house with coke residue and weed and everything else going on in there. These dudes, man, is out of control. Out of control. Billionaire-backed scientists aim to grow headless humans and farm their organs. You can't make this stuff up, man. This is where they're looking at for life extension technology. They're investing their millions and billions, trying to establish their kingdoms forever, paying scientists to try to grow headless bodies, to farm their organs. I guess they finally got, tired of getting caught on the black market, organ harvesting from, disappeared individuals. children, so forth and so on, right? Look at this. Billionaires are pumping cash into cutting-edge tech company that work in the production of genetically engineered monkey organs with the hope that lab-grown human parts could be not far behind. Remember that lady they got the baboon heart? And she got put to death like less than a month later, trying to implant a damn baboon's heart into her body. I mean, Esau is a complete maniac, man. Boston-based biotechnology firm R3 Bio work in the production of living organ systems that are grown artificially and not supported by any sort of brain, developing these bodyoids as an alternative for animal testing. I missed something straight out of a damn sci-fi flick, man. Straight out of a sci-fi flick. What you said, Niquab? You said From the Island? I do remember that movie. They had the clone duplicates of people. Yep. That was a good movie too. The Island. There y'all go, man. There's a movie. I always give y'all a movie reference every DSTM damn near. The Island. Good suggestion, Niquab. That's exactly right. You ain't seen The Island, check that one out. That's a good one. But yeah, this is Esau, man. He's really doing this stuff. Oh, before you travel, now that things is lightening up. Well, I ain't gonna say lightening up. It's probably still hell at the damn airports and everywhere else. But don't forget, the bioweapon plague is still available. CDC issues a global travel notice as incurable brain bleeding virus reaches the Americas. They love to pump that up, man. Dengue fever, in other words, man. It ain't nothing new, but dengue fever travels by mosquitoes and all of that. That's on the rise. So they're telling people, hey, be careful. People coming from islands that's populated from climates that breed mosquitoes, and and even now that it's starting to heat up, the mosquitoes is out here. Who knows, man? You seen last week when I played the video, the flashback of Bill Gates with his GMO modified mosquitoes, letting them loose. I mean, you can't put nothing past these people, man. Nothing past them. At this point, everything is at his disposal. For him to try to collapse this society, to rebuild a whole new world based after a beast system of corruption, abomination, idolatry, witchcraft, unrighteousness, fornication, anti-biblical principles, etc. Speaking of that, Canada just passed that law where it's going to be illegal to quote the Bible. And Trump said he wanted that to be the 52nd state. So just imagine. I mean, he already has the NSPM 7 lined up. Well, that regulates your speech and your stance morally. But now Canada's talking about they're outlawing and banning Bible quotes, labeling it a book of hate and all this other stuff, right? And if that isn't enough, Pope Leo the 14th hosts exorcists at the Vatican as a surge in Satanism cases raises concern for vulnerable believers. So they're saying that Satanism is on the rise and it's becoming a spiritual crisis. And they're over here hosting exorcists so that they can try to battle the satanic spirits that's inhabiting the world. Take that for what you will. We already know that this place is completely overwhelmed with Satanism, the occult, child sacrifice, you name it. Somehow Pope Leo got the message and thinks some exorcist is going to be on the rise. I mean, get the hell out of here, man. But we already The acronym of under Satan's authority for USA has been around for decades. Who woke him up and told him? You know? Anyway. Pray for the dogs, man. Stolen dogs escape a Chinese meat factory and form a band of brothers to get home. I had to throw this in there, man. You know, it's not stereotypical. It's real. Moab eats dogs. You know, when Trump's running around talking about the damn Haitians, they're eating the dogs. No, the Chinese are eating the damn dogs. Bro, what the hell are you talking about? So far to the point, man, dogs made a daring escape and got up out of there to escape the Changchong Jilin province where they was getting ready to get roasted. Good Lord. If you wonder why they call them heathens, okay, there you go. Lastly, before we depart, y'all, just like during the time of the vid, where all of these food plants, remember all the food plants was catching fire, being destroyed, food supplies was already under stress and strain, shelves was empty at the stores, and then you got these food plants getting destroyed. And now here we are talking about another global crisis for energy, food, so forth, the threat of empty shelves. And in Iowa, right on time, an egg farm catches fire.
A sofa bed that fits through your door, in your apartment, and in budget. I thought I was going to have to do so much work, but
video from overnight showing the massive fire in northern Iowa. This is up the Hawkeye Pride Egg Farm in Corinth and Hancock County. Those flames, even from far away, huge.
A lot of orange there. We're working to learn what we can, how it started, and how the efforts were to contain it. But Raleigh Jensen gave us these photos and video that he says he took at the farm. We could see large flames and lots of smoke. Some of the photos were taken before sunset. And Janet Moon Glavely shared these photos. We can see just how large those flames were. You see the balls of fire and all that smoke. It's unclear if anyone was hurt or what caused the fire, but we'll keep you updated on our KCCI mobile app.
Yeah, I'm so sure it's unclear of what caused the egg farm to mysteriously catch fire. Just as we're talking about food shortages and everything else, in like manner, during the time of COVID and all of the food plants was catching fire and all of that, man, they want austerity. They want people to be shut down, begging for food, begging them for a way out, problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialectic. Hey, we create the problem, we'll offer you a solution. You dig what I'm saying? Where they create the panic, and then here comes the solution. You don't worry about it. We're going to set everybody up on the digital ID platform. We're going to regulate your carbon credits. We're going to regulate your travel. We're going to regulate what you eat. We're going to tell you where you can live. We're going to make sure that you don't have to worry about working anymore because the robot's going to replace you. You're going to have to ration out your money. You're going to, you name it, man. We're going to need your kids. They're going to be drafted in conscription. They're going to war for us. The whole nine, man. That's where we're at right now. You see the playbook. Weapons of mass destruction being put out there. Oh, the food supply is being threatened because of the farms are getting on fire. Even the because of the fertilizer crisis, they're already talking about beef shortages, all this other stuff. The herding and the farms are suffering. It's all kind of stuff going on, man. All kind of stuff, right? But that's par for the course in the end times. Prayerfully, everybody is preparing and getting their spirits in order for Passover, purging out that old leavening, man, preparing yourself to be a new lump to present towards the Most High, keeping it in the spirit of righteousness and faith. Pray unceasingly, y'all. Times is getting more and more tricky by the minute. And prayerfully, everybody is prepared themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, most of all, before the decree bring forth, man, and the fierce anger of the Lord comes forth, as it says in Zephaniah 2. So with that being said, man, your brother's gonna get up out of here, man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, man. Lord willing, catch y'all on the rebound, man. I think next time we'll be live. We'll be on Passover, Most High permit. All right. We won't have a closing Shabbat class today. This will be the class for the day. But Most High willing, see y'all on live on the Passover, man, April 1st, man, Lord willing. All right, until then, man, y'all have a blessed one and blessed Shabbat. And with that being said, I'm gonna get on out of here, man. Always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't shoot the messenger. Shalom.